Hey, how are you?
Hi, I'm great. How are you?
Good. So what's happening? What's going wrong?
I actually love this topic because I feel, we've been talking about because I definitely feel like, especially in the dating world, being a 31-year-old woman that takes care of myself, I find that I look significantly younger than my other 31-year-old counterparts.
Mm.
And I think there is this false machismo that it is seen as feminine to take care of yourself. And that's just simply not the case. As someone that values self care as one of my like core values, right? I
Mm.
want someone who also feels the same way and a man who values himself enough to take care of himself.
Why would it be
Um,
seen as feminine if a guy takes care of himself? Like we talk, like I see that there's now ads running encouraging guys to wear makeup, right? Which
mhm.
sounds like the feminine angle to me. But why is what you take and how you manage your hormones and your blood and all that stuff, like why would that be considered feminine?
I don't think that that is.
Do these
I
guys find it to be feminine? Is that why they've got an aversion to it?
I think maybe it's maybe something that they learned from their fathers. They don't
Mhm.
want to some older generations who feel like, "Oh, I can fix it myself. I can do it myself." Miss me with that. Men don't have seem to have a skincare routine. They don't want to wear sunscreen.
Yeah.
Um, like that just seems and it's unfortunate because I think it's important for if a man values himself to take care of himself appropriately, right? And how are you supposed to take care of someone else if you can't take care of yourself?
So are you familiar with sunscreen ingredients?
I know. I mean, I'm yes. I
And
wouldn't say that I'm a scientist, but
and
I
what sort of sunscreen, do you go for?
usually
Like,
like the all natural ones.
okay.
When you talk about like um, some of the cancer causing ingredients and things
Yeah.
like that, you try to do something more natural,
Well,
but they're not.
that that's the thing though, because I mean, if you just want to talk about sunscreen as like a skincare routine and a topic that guys need to sort of contemplate, um, the ingredients in the vast majority of sunscreens are estrogenic, right? They have either oxybenzone or a version of oxybenzone. I can't remember what the first three characters are, but it still ends in basically Z benzone. It's
Mhm.
the same product that does the same thing in the body, which converts to estrogen, and they find that it stays in your body for up to a week. The only sunscreen that you should wear if you're going to wear sunscreen, since we're on the topic, is zinc based. That's it.
Mhm.
The medical ingredient is zinc. And
Mhm.
guess what? You're going to look like Casper the Friendly Ghost when you put it on, probably. But that's the only thing you can put on your skin that will lower the effect of the UV rays and not let you burn without converting the estrogen in your body. So, like, there's a lot of things guys don't even contemplate. Like, most guys will wear sunscreen. I'm actually at the point where what I'll do is I barely even wear sunscreen because if I have to wear it, it's going to be the zinc based and it'll just look like white paste. So I just tend to go out more in the morning and in the late afternoon until I have a tan. And they don't even have to bother wearing sunscreen, unless it's a hat or a shirt or something like that, most of the sunny days. And I get a nice tan, the summer. And I don't use sunscreen at all for anti aging. I don't have a lot of wrinkles for my age. Okay. So the notion of like skin cares and stuff like that, like there's some good skincare products. I think the peptide based ones, I actually have a tab open over here. I opened it because I meant to talk about it, but there's let me just share this here real quick because this is the only one that I would recommend that guys use. um, this is the one that I use, which is it's on a website called Aseir Custom, ASEIR custom.com. They're not paying me to say this. There's no affiliate link or anything like that, but this is the one that I use over here. It's a peptide based one. And the reason why I got into it and I learned about this stuff is because apparently fighters use it to repair their skin from battle damage from fights to help the cuts and the bruises and all this sort of stuff. So this company figured that out and they put it into a skincare product, which helps, with that issue with collagen and all that stuff, especially. You also have to take collagen in too. Like as you get older, one of the things I've done in the last couple of years is I've started taking more collagen either in protein shakes or I'll put them in my coffee in the morning. But I probably have like 30, 40 grams of collagen a day now, which is super useful as far as skincare. Now, I wouldn't go telling guys to put on sunscreen or just buy some skincare stuff because most of the stuff is legit shit. Like if you go to most, like whenever I go shopping with my kid, she'll pick something up and she'll be like, "Daddy, can I buy this?" And I'm looking at it, I'm like, read how many ingredients are on this. Can you find something with like 3 or 4 ingredients, please. Like 32 doesn't work, sort of thing, right? So these are some conversations that you're going to have. As far as, you know, guys that you're dealing with, are they just laughing at this? You know, when it comes to the conversation of self-care and taking care of themselves?
I think, yeah, I think when I bring it up and I think when I bring it up and I make it like an okay space for them to talk about, like, no, you know, no one's ever talked to me about this before. I didn't really see the value. I think most men come around to it, but they don't have any formal education in it because of how I think society has it perceived to, or has kind of related to them. And that's really unfortunate because I think they want to take care of themselves, but because they feel some level of like a barrier to entry there.
Yeah.
I think lowering that barrier to entry for them would be really, really helpful because it's unfortunate. Because I think men want to take care of themselves. They just simply don't know how or have the tools.
Well, I mean, people usually only go looking for help when it comes to health. Like they would rather have a prescription than they would a nutraceutical that prevents the issue, right? Like they'd rather go to the doctor and get a pain pill than to take a vitamin.
Right. I think women tend to be more proactive. Like women tend to be more proactive in our anti-aging approach. And as such, we're aging better.
Collagen disappears from your skin a lot faster in women than it does from men, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you really have to be on that stuff early. Like I think women should contemplate this stuff in their 20s for sure.
Yeah.
And start a good, you know, like routine or whatever that happens to look like. And I think most women figure that out by their 20s anyway, when, you know, the first gray hair pops and the first wrinkle sort of happens around the side. But guys need to pay attention to this stuff too. And it's like, look, I mean, I don't blame you for not being interested in guys that don't prioritize self-care if it's something that's a priority for you. You should be discerning in your taste in that regard because, you know, women always want the best that they can get anyway, right? So why would you want a guy that's a bum that doesn't take care of himself when you could, if there's guys out there that do, right? So it's absolutely fine. How do you motivate more guys to take their, you know, their health and their aging more seriously? Like I said, they'd rather have a painkiller than a vitamin. You know, like the guys will go looking for statins and cholesterol meds and all that stuff like that rather than change their diet.
Yeah.
It's just how we are.
Yeah.
Do you have a better solution?
Well, I'm a personal trainer and a coach, so I do a lot of like coaching for people who have actively sought out my help.
Yeah.
When it comes to dating, I offer a lot of unsolicited advice that people are usually receptive to if you are kind enough. But I think doing what you're doing right now is really awesome. I think that putting the content out and having more conversations about it and about men taking care of themselves, you know, instead of being these martyrs of hard work and self-deprecation, you know, there's a lot of that. I want to make sure I articulate this well. I get a lot of messages when men see my career and they're like, oh, I am looking for someone to motivate me. I'm looking for someone to get me back in the gym. I'm looking for someone to do this. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. You're going to have to do it all on your own.
How unattractive is that to you when you hear that?
Oh, it's an immediate, like, I can't.
It's gross, right? Like, you know,
it's so icky.
Somebody saying to you, I need somebody to motivate me. Will you motivate me? Like lower your standards and take care of my fat ass, basically is what they're saying.
And as someone whose career it is to do that, it's like, okay, well, you can pay my session rate if you'd like.
Hire
no problem.
Correct.
Yeah, no problem. Here's my card. No problem.
Yeah, isn't that interesting?
I think men want help, but I think that there is this, you know, low activation for them. And
what is your number one recommendation for men, you know, since we have you on, you know, when it comes to self-care?
Try. Do something. I think preventative is number one. But if you have missed that boat, the resources that you have, supplementation and getting your diet and exercise back in, like muscle mass exercise is the number one anti-aging. That if you want to look and feel better, move your body.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. I want to emphasize that because I didn't state that earlier. Having lean muscle on your body as you get older is incredibly important for so many different functions in your body. It's not just useful for strength and for moving around, but it's actually almost like a fuel. You know, as you get older, like your body needs it. Because you
There's
do lose it
a
as you get older.
yeah, it's really hard to maintain. There was a and you might have to fact check me on this, but I think that there was something recent where you talked about muscle as an endocrine organ, where muscle releases more like hormones now. And so when we talk about regulating your hormone function and being able to age appropriately as your hormone function gets a little bit more wonky, muscle is really, really powerful in helping to regulate that.
Yeah, it's definitely useful. Lean muscle mass. So there's your advice, guys. Don't be fat and lazy. Be big and jacked, and you will age better. Trust me. You know, you take care of your body. It's going to pay back dividends. You don't like. I'm telling you guys. I'm telling you. I look around when I train, when I go to the gym, when I'm out in public, and there's some people out there that don't have to look the way that they look, and I know that they're. I don't want to say in pain, but they're uncomfortable. Going up the stairs reminds them that they're getting older. You know, getting out of a chair reminds them that there's things falling apart with their body, and it happens more and more as they get older. And you don't have to deal with that. You really don't. So that's my advice. Liz, thanks for chiming in. I appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
All right, take care. I really hope you guys enjoyed that clip. If you want to watch the full-length podcast, you can find that over here, that clip's from. If you're newer to the channel, make sure you hit subscribe over here. And pinned down below in the top comment, you'll find a bunch of useful links to my website, my supplement line, books, and a bunch of other stuff. Have an amazing day. Peace out.